You can use trim command to remove extra edges which are not required in a drawing. To start trim command, type TR on command line, which is its shortcut, and press enter. Alternatively, you can also select trim command from modify panel and home tab, and here you'll find this trim command. Now once you've selected trim command, your command line will prompt you to select objects which will make the line or the boundary for trimming. So let's select the boundary for trimming. In this case, we have multiple concentric circles and an array of lines. So let's select this middle circle as the boundary. Now we have selected the boundary, press enter. Now whatever object you select for trimming will be trimmed up to the boundary which we have selected. So let's go and click on any of these lines. When you move your cursor to the line, you'll see that its transparency or its darkness fades away, and also a cross symbol appears at the tooltip of the pick box. That indicates that this line will be trimmed off, and you can see the preview up to the point from which it will be trimmed. So when you click, the line will be trimmed up to the boundary which we have selected. So if we click inside, it will again be trimmed but up to the same boundary. Now you can repeat this process with any of these lines, and no matter where you click, it will be trimmed up to that object which we have selected. Now let's press enter to get rid of this trim command. Let's select trim again and press enter. This time, instead of selecting a boundary, we select all of the objects as boundary. To select all of the objects, press enter again. And now if you click on any object, it will be trimmed up to the next boundary. So now if I click on this line, it will be trimmed off, or it will be chipped off up to this next crossing line. So let's click here, and you can see that it has been trimmed up to the next line. This applies for this circle as well. So if I click at this portion of this circle, it will be chipped off up to the next crossing points. So, and I can repeat this process for as many lines as I want. One thing that you need to make sure of that it will trim only these lines or circle or any drawing object only as long as there is a boundary. For example, in this case, we don't have any other boundary which intersects it. So if this is a last segment, it won't trim it any longer. Now in order to get rid of this trim command, press enter again. Now I will use another method of trimming using this example. In this example, we have this rectangle with these extra edges. In order to chip off all these edges at once, let's select trim command and press enter, and again press enter. Now here we have fence on this command line. Let's select fence in this case, and now make a fence that crosses all these lines, and this will ensure that everything that crosses this fence will be chipped off, or it will be trimmed. So now these lines are crossing the fence, and press enter, and you'll see that it is completely clean. In order to use extend command, I'll use this geometry. It is completely opposite to the trim command which we have seen previously. You can select extend command from this drop down menu. So click on extend, and here again you need to select a boundary up to which your object will extend. You can see right now that here we have only one boundary. So let's make one more boundary using a new circle. So here I have one more boundary. Now let's go to extend command and select the boundary object. So here I have this boundary object, and press enter. Now after pressing enter, if you click on any line or any object, it will extend it up to the boundary which we have selected. In this case, it is the outer circle which we have selected. So when you click on this line segment, it will extend it up to that line or circle. Now since this line segment is extending towards left and towards right as well, so if you click it close to the right side of this line, it will extend it towards that side. Now let's undo these changes, and let's go to trim, and let's go to extend again. So select extend, and this time I'll select all the object by pressing enter. Now if you click on any of these lines, it will extend up to the immediately next boundary. So if I click it here, it extended to this circle. If I click it again, it will extend it to the next circle. In this case also, Now if I click it close to this circle or to this point, it will extend it here, and if I close to this end point of this line, it will extend to this side. So it depends on which side I click, that will decide where this line is going to extend.